Coming up tonight on Fifth Third Business Beat, recruiting doctors for open positions isn't easy to do in a recession. Kenwood Townplace attracts customers despite a host of problems with the development project. Central Light wants to move to be more centrally located. Business Courier staff reporter Lucy May reports on a new organization that's gaining some political clout. Despite the recession, travelers hit the road this holiday weekend. Gehring Center President Larry Grip discusses changes at the center with Chairman John Spencer. Patrick Sheeran, Vice President at the Cincinnati USA Regional Chamber, talks about corporate sponsorship of this year's Taste of Cincinnati. Fifth Third Chief Investment Strategist John Augustine looks at the economic forecast. And Trey Devy, the CSO CEO, sits down with Doug Bolton for Publishers Beat.
Fifth Third Business Beat is brought to you in part by Fifth Third Bank and Cincinnati Bell.
Hello, I'm Brian Patrick. Welcome to Fifth Third Business Beat for Friday, May 22nd, 2009. On page 1 of the Business Courier this week, how the recession is making it harder for some to recruit doctors. And that's bad news for the Cincinnati area, where there is already a physician shortage that's expected to get worse. One physician recruiting firm reports it's helped place just 5 doctors here so far this year. Last year, it placed 43. Mercy Medical Associates, owned by Mercy Health Partners, is one group that is expecting to expand.
We have a very aggressive goal. We have a goal to hire 40 more primary care physicians by the end of the year. Part of our recruitment effort includes making sure the physician or potential physician is a good strategic fit. But above and beyond that, they have to be a good cultural fit. The average age of physician is between 55 and 58. The economy might be helping because some of them would want to work longer now. Their 401ks have become 101ks.
Some recruiters say that the poor housing market is partly to blame because doctors don't want to move to a new area if they can't sell their current home. Despite an unfinished appearance and millions of dollars in liens, the tenants that are open at Kenwood Townplace say business is good there. Ground was broken on this site in 2007 and Crate and Barrel was named as an anchor store. A spokesperson says the store is doing well, but other structures, like the center's office tower, are unfinished. Mitchell's Salon and Day Spa sits next to empty, walled-off space, but business is good there, too.
We would have loved to open under different circumstances with what's going on with the building, but the most important part of it is that our clients love it. It's a significant upgrade from where we've been. We have much more parking, and we think that we've created a much nicer experience for our clients.
There's no timeline for construction to resume at the site. 11 subcontractors have filed suit against the developers over this project. Central Light wants to sell its 40,000 square foot warehouse and showroom along I-71 in Mason and move back to Cincinnati. The company moved to Mason 4 years ago when it expanded during the housing boom. But now home construction is slow, and owner John Bruning says a move to a smaller, more centrally located facility is in order.
Part of our restructuring is moving this facility into a more affordable facility so we can still offer the service that we pride ourselves in offering to our customers.
Bruning would like to find a space in Oakley, Hyde Park, or somewhere along the Norwood Lateral. Back to the front page now of the Business Courier, a story by Lucy May on Cincinnatians for Progress. This new organization has a lot of political support. What's the goal of the organization, Lucy?
Well, the immediate goal is a campaign against ballot language that's being proposed for the upcoming ballot that would require a vote of any kind of expense by the city to put a streetcar in or any kind of public transit. So the ballot language that's being proposed is kind of anti-streetcar. These folks want to defeat that measure.
So how did the 3 chairmen of this organization get together and get it started?
Well, they had never worked together before. They say they were brought together by a real concern over this ballot measure and also a more general concern about the repeat ballot measures that this group has gotten on the ballot. The anti-streetcar measure is being proposed by a group called the We Demand a Vote Coalition, and this is a group made up of the local NAACP and Coast, among other groups. They're the folks behind the ballot initiative that defeated the sales tax increase for the jail and that defeated the red light cameras. They also tried to change the way City Council was elected through bringing proportional representation back, but they lost that effort at the polls. So these three folks say, hey, we're going to the polls again and again and again for these things. It's interfering with the way local government governs, and they think that this issue in particular could impede economic development.
How does Cincinnatians for Progress plan to use its influence in support of the streetcar project?
Well, they want to defeat this ballot measure, and even some of the folks who are involved in Cincinnatians for Progress don't even like the streetcar in particular, but they don't like the idea of requiring a vote of the people for city council and city government to move forward with big transit projects like this. So the first order of business is to get out there, raise money for a campaign that will, in their words and hopes, educate people to understand how broad this ballot language is and defeat it.
Will they take on any other issues?
They're poised to do that. Part of their concern is that the We Demand a Vote coalition made up of Coast and the NAACP has made it clear that they'd like to have a referendum on the ballot pretty routinely. That worries this Cincinnatians for Progress group. They don't like that idea, so they're poised to kind of be there to stand up against what they see as a steady stream of these ballot initiatives. There's
one very vocal opponent. Tell us about Chris Smitherman.
Christopher Smitherman is the president of the local NAACP chapter. He's been very, very vocal and a big part of this We Demand a Vote coalition, along with Coast and these other groups, as I mentioned. And he thinks that the reason that these referendum initiatives are necessary is that city council's out of touch with the people. He said he talks to people all the time. Council's making decisions that the public doesn't agree with. He says the only choice people have is to take it to the ballot and petition their government for what they think ought to happen. He thinks as a result the Cincinnatians for Progress group is out of touch too.
Interesting political dynamics. Thank you, Lucy.
Sure.
Read Lucy May's story on the front page of this week's Business Courier. Here's the Courier Greater Cincinnati Stock Index. We track the performance of about 40 local stocks compared with the broader market using the Dow Jones Wilshire 5000 Index. The market pretty tame last week. The local index inched up about 0.5%. The overall market dipped about 0.2%. Thousands of people are already celebrating the holiday weekend, many of them by going away for a few days. As Patricia McGeever reports, recession or not, people are taking advantage of some good travel deals.
This has been a planned trip, so we're going. But at the same time, I was disappointed to see the prices where they were because I noticed it a couple days ago.
Gas prices have risen about 40 cents a gallon in the last few weeks, but they are still lower than they were this time last year. And that's one reason why AAA believes that more than 32 million people nationwide will travel this holiday weekend.
In Michigan, when I left, it was $2.59. So I haven't stopped yet.
A lot of consumers skipped out on their Memorial Day travel plans last year because of the economy and high gas prices. So this year, with the lower gas prices, the great travel deals that are available, and the fact that they just really want to get out there and travel is contributing to the increase.
The Business Courier reported last week that higher international demand is responsible for the recent jump in prices. Despite the increase, gas is about $1.50 a gallon lower than it was last year. In fact, last year's prices, around $3.95 a gallon, are the highest on record in Cincinnati for a Memorial Day weekend. This year's lower prices mean more of the people traveling this weekend will be driving, and travelers are likely to see other deals as well.
Hotel rates are lower, airfares lower, and even car rental rates are lower than what we saw last year.
Recession or not, AAA estimates that 1.2 million Ohioans will hit the road this weekend and spend the holiday away from home. Brian?
Thanks, Patricia. Fewer people are expected to fly to their destinations. Airfares are lower, but there are fewer flights to book.